What's up, y'all? Welcome to Fury Talks. I'm your host, Seth Fury. Today we have my friend Jazzy, who's going to be with us today.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. So Jazzy
Thank you
is
for having me.
Absolutely. So Jazzy is a curly hair ambassador, influencer, as you see.
I'd like to say inspiration because I know I inspire a lot of girls with curly hair
to just be natural and be
just be healthy at the same time.
That's a beautiful thing.
It's not just about the hair; it's also about the journey with yourself, your health, your mental health, everything.
Well, there it is. And then she's also, the way I actually met her before, she was a flight attendant for a couple of years.
Yes.
Okay. So my question for you.
Still doing that.
You still, okay, well, so that's still a part of the life, which means this question's even more relevant.
Okay.
What is it like having an unstable situation as far as like where you live when it comes to the dating life? Because it's pretty much every relationship you have is going to be long distance. How is that?
Yeah. It's pretty difficult.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like at the same time, it's not that difficult because it really depends on communication and just, really trying to make it work. And I know other girls and friends that also are in long distance relationships and it works for them. I would preferably, I would like to have like a monthly, like at least see once or twice a month.
So you think once or twice a month is enough for a normal couple? See, because you're a flight attendant.
Depending on how many days, like.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to put it this way. So without you being a flight attendant and you just simply being a woman that is out of state, long distance without because flight attendants have the luxury of flying anytime they want. They just jump on a flight. They know all the pilots. Cool. But us normal folk, we got to book flights. We have to go through a lot more of a hassle to make that trip. Right. And because it's not our actual job that we're getting paid for to travel, we have to take time off of work. So it's a lot more of a hassle to actually just travel like that for normal folks.
I get it, what you're saying.
Yeah. So I just felt like one day a month for me was like, I want to see you every night, or at least a couple times a week, not once a month. And then when you get into an argument with that person, it is much harder to solve that problem if you're not face to face. So all they got to do is just not pick up the phone. And
that
I'm
is
like,
the worst
damn,
of
like
being in an argument, especially on FaceTime and just being like, oh.
At least you got FaceTime. But
at least you got FaceTime, but then it's just like, hang up the call. And it's just like, no, this would not happen in real life.
In real life, you could simply just,
real time. Yeah. Like, this is an argument we need to have in real time,
exactly.
not FaceTime.
Here's my next question for you.
Okay.
Have you ever been in a situation where you got in some sort of a fight with your loved one, your boyfriend, and you went to your friends for advice, and maybe he went to his friends for advice, and, you found that it maybe didn't work out the way you wanted it to work out?
Right.
Has that happened to you? Like, what are your thoughts on that whole experience? Because that happens a lot.
Yeah, no, that happens a lot. Past relationships, like, I've definitely... Okay, so let's talk about this. So this is my thing. Like, of course, I reach out to friends. I also go to therapy, though. So, I also get advice from multiple people. But, like, my close friends, my day ones, they know who I am and how I am. So I feel like they understand me and where I'm coming from. So I like to speak to those type of friends.
Okay.
I take their advice into consideration, but I don't always follow what they say. Okay. I like to see things from a different perspective. Friends
play a very big part and they have a big influence on the relationship. So generally, if you are dating a girl and her friends like you, if you get into a fight, the chances of you guys making up are a lot stronger. If you get in a fight with your girlfriend and you know that her friends don't like you, the likeliness of them giving you solid advice and unbiased advice is very slim.
Yes.
And that's one thing I hate about friends being involved sometimes, because they don't always have your best interest at heart. Sometimes they just have a vendetta against that man because maybe they just don't like him. Maybe
but then also think about this too. You got to think about this. You also painted a picture to them for them not to like that person.
Because maybe you told them too many bad things
because
about
you
them.
Told them too many bad situations.
And friends don't let that stuff go.
And they'll remind you. And that's why it's hard for me to take my friends' advice, because they're going to sit here and remind me, oh, well, Jazz, remember when he did this? And remember, and I'm just like, but I feel like we move past that. We move beyond that.
Because you're emotionally involved with that person. So you guys are having fights and you're forgiving each other and you're moving on.
Everybody in relationships have fights.
Because friends aren't often told the good stuff as often as they're told the bad stuff. Because you don't need advice on good stuff. Like, you might brag about it a little bit, but the advice comes when it's bad. So they just keep a catalog of negative stuff about that man.
No, but then at the same time too, I brag about when my man does good things to me. So I'm like, oh yeah, girl, he did this, he did that. So they'll remember.
So if you're that type of girl, then your friends will most likely give you better advice.
Exactly. Yeah. What you tell your friends, and how much information you tell them, good, bad. It all,
Have you ever found yourself guilty of comparing one ex to another ex as far as, anything, as far as lifestyle, sexually, or something that might not feel too well for the current guy in that current position?
Is this water?
This water. It's fresh water too. I poured it just for you.
Thank you. Love this cup, by the way. Put some tea in this I need some tea.
I know, spill the tea.
Oh yeah, I'm about to spill it right now. I've had several different experiences with different relationships, but I also pick and choose what I like from each relationship. I like to be swept off my feet.
Gotcha.
I like to be romanced.
Romance.
Like, romance is a really big thing, and if you could romance me, surprise me, and I'm just like, oh my God. And if you can, even mentally stimulate me and also inspire me and everything, that's what I like. So I realized in the past relationships what I do like, and I also like,
so any guy that comes at that point has to be a romance guy.
Kind of has,
because
you've had the taste of it, you like it, and don't get me wrong, like, I'm independent. I take care of my own. I can handle my own. I've been out since I was 18 years old.
Oh wow, yeah.
So I've been handling my own since then. I'm independent. And I could take care of myself. Yeah. But then I also like to be spoiled. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right?
No.
Right,
I mean, and there's a lot of guys out there that like to spoil.
Right, ladies?
Yeah, no, I mean, if there are guys that like to spoil.
Because there's a lot of women, that like to be, that are independent and could take care of their own. They could buy themselves anything, but then they also like to be spoiled as well.
Yeah.
So it's just, that's kind of where I'm at. That's what I've learned that I like too. Like, I know how to take care of my own. I don't have to have a man take care of me.
Yeah.
By all means. But, that's, to me, those are the nice gestures too, and the romantic ways of doing it. It's not just like, oh, let me just send you this package and,
So throwing money in your face is not.
No, that's, to me, is not attractive. Like, I don't.
Especially if you already have it. Yeah, so that's a big thing. So it's not about the money, it's about the intent behind it.
The intent behind the gestures, and then it's more than that, of course, but.
Let's say you had a boyfriend that was able to take you on trips, able to buy you cars and all these types of things, and you had a beautiful life in that regard because he was just more well off. But he didn't have all the other qualities as your new boyfriend, in which maybe he was a lot more creative in the way that he did things for you. Maybe he was more thoughtful in the way, but he showed potential to the idea that he could maybe be in that position another day. I feel like that to me should be something that's more looked at.
Those situations are not always the best. Like, people think just because they're living this lavish life, having all these houses, cars, doing all these trips, you never know what that person's really experiencing behind closed doors. You know, it might not be a happy home, and it's just like, I'm not saying I would rather be broken and happy. I'm not saying that either. Yeah. But at the same time, money's not everything. Yeah. It kind of is, but not really.
It's definitely money obviously provides lots of choices and lifestyle. And nobody wants to be broke at all.
Nobody wants to be broke. You
don't want to be with nobody who's broke and has no ambition.
Yeah.
You gotta be. It's one thing if you're transitioning. Right. Everybody goes through a phase. There was one point when I was struggling when I was still doing, like 8 years ago, trying to figure out what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I didn't feel like I was in the best position to be in a relationship, but at the same time, I still liked women. I still wanted to I'm not gonna go into a cave just simply because I don't have my money together, So I'm gonna meet somebody, and if they enjoy all the qualities about me and they see my potential, stick with me for a little while, and you're gonna see how this whole life changes. And it did.
I kind of feel a little, I don't know, I feel a little different about that sometimes.
In which way?
In the fact that, if you don't really have your shit together and you're not in a stable situation, I don't feel
that you shouldn't date.
You should be looking for a girlfriend.
Why?
Because you know, you gotta also think like, well, I mean, there are girls that out there that are probably just like love you for where you at and who you are.
Okay.
So, but personally, I've been in a situation where I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna date right now. For these next 2 years, I've been in a relationship. This is probably the longest I've ever been single, actually, being 2 years.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like, you know, I feel like I really need to work on myself at some point. And I felt like,
but see,
I was at my lowest point when I did that. And when I made that decision, I was like, you know, not even, I didn't have my own spot or anything. I was living with somebody, my family. And I just did not feel like dating would have got me out of the situation. I always take it as like, no, I need to grind and work hard and get something to have stability. And then once I feel comfortable and confident in myself and feel like, okay, now I'm ready, then that's when I'll go explore. But then again, I don't really go out and date.
I'm going to tell you like this. I don't think that there's ever going to be a perfect time that you're ready. I don't think that. I think that if you're waiting for this magical moment in which you have this certain amount in your bank account and you have this going for you before you finally decide to turn on your heart, I don't think that's realistic. I feel like if you meet somebody that you really like and you're interested in, you should pursue them while they're there, because there's a good chance they may not be there down the line whenever you think you got it together. You know, at some point in life, you got to just go with it. And I think that having a relationship with a supportive girlfriend, somebody that is actually not going to suck the life out of you, but someone that can actually be like, you know, your biggest supporter and fan, will make you elevate yourself quicker
and be better
and want to be better for her, while being better for yourself.
I'm just scared to like jump into another relationship. I'm not the type
because there are different types of relationships. There are the ones that consume you entirely to where like your every breathing moment is about them. And then there are the ones where you guys are like a little team and you guys are like, yo, let's go out and do this. Let's do that. Oh, you're working on the clothing line? Hey, I know someone that can do this. Like suddenly you guys are like the best partners.
Guys come together
because you want the best for each other. I personally get frustrated when girls or people in general make those statements and say, I need to focus on myself. It's just like, well, maybe you just need to stop getting in toxic relationships.
That's why we probably need to focus on ourselves, because we're like, hold up, I just experienced a toxic relationship and I'm still trying to figure out how to heal and get out of this mental state.
If you're still healing, that's different.
Yeah, but that's exactly the reason why, like, I would purposely be single and not want to date or be
that's different than not financially being in a place to not want. Like, if you just got out of a relationship, don't jump into another. But if you're healed and you're not even like heartbroken by anything, and you're really just saying, I don't want to be in a relationship because I'm not financially where I want to be, I think that's silly, because you know, what's that magic number that you have to hit before you can finally find somebody?
Like just having your shit together, really.
I mean, don't be living in your mom's basement.
Exactly.
Okay, I mean.
Okay, so there we go.
Like, some people will intentionally downgrade their life, stay with friends, have roommates, because they have a bigger plan for their business, or because so
they're focused, they're driven, and that's it.
They're
like
focused
they
and
don't want to be distracted being in a relationship, because you got to understand too. Is that being in a relationship is another full-time job,
depending on who that girlfriend is.
True.
Not everybody requires that much time. If you're dating a girl that's about her stuff
too. But it constantly takes work to build on a relationship. It's not something that you stop. You have to be consistent. That's what keeps a relationship going. If you're not consistent, then...
I think it depends on the type of girlfriend that you have. If you are with a girl or a guy that's very needy of your time, because maybe he has a 9-to-5, he gets home from work, and he's free. He's not going for an entrepreneurial type business. Like when the clock shifts out, he's free and he wants his girl and he wants to hang out with her. If you happen to be a girl that is working on something bigger than a 9-to-5, then you don't have that type of free time. So those two type of people won't really be a good fit. But if you're both working your butts off, and you know the time that you guys have together, or any downtime, you can call each other on the phone, pick up each other's spirits, you know what I mean? Maybe meet up for some coffee later in the day, maybe go on a date once a week. I don't think that's a relationship that's impossible if you guys are both just transitioning to a better place in your life.
True.
Even if you aren't rich at the time to be able to take vacations and stuff. So to say that a person who's in that transitional phase is not worthy of a relationship, I wouldn't say that. I just think it depends on the type of relationship that he's looking for.
The type of relationship and the type of person. But then I also feel like too, you know, going in with that too is just like when someone doesn't have their stuff together, you know, and then goes into a relationship with someone, I also feel like they're going to possibly be codependent because they're looking for someone like that, and then that person winds up enabling them, and then therefore you're in this type of relationship, but they're used to that type of relationship of being codependent. And so that's why they're in the situation they are, because they have people that help them just stay in the situations they're in.
I think that depends on the type of man that it is.
True.
If you're with a guy that is...
So many different guys out there, clearly.
Because this is the thing, because these rules don't apply to everybody.
It doesn't.
I know myself, and I know me personally, if I were ever to get in a relationship with a woman that was more financially comfortable than I was, I'm not the type of person that's going to say, ooh, man, I made it. This is good. Life is good. No, I'm going to be like, hey, what can you teach me so that I can get to the same level of success so that we both can blow up?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the type of person I've never been the type that wants to mooch off of somebody else's success.
Right.
If you have that type of person, now you just enable them. But if you're if you're just in a place where you've already kind of taken that road and that journey and you know the way to it, maybe you have even the connections that could help them get to that place, then I don't think you're enabling. I think that your relationship may just be what it takes to get him to that next phase
level.
of life.
And it's also the inspiration in that, because it's like you're being inspired, like being in that situation. And it's also going to level you up too, because you're like, all right, but it's just like also that person has to have that ambitious and drive to level up, to want to take it to that next level. You know, like, hold on, I want to work on myself to get to this level, and we can like really go hard and build, you know?
Because most men like to be the breadwinners in the family. They like to be the ones
That's what I'm used to. I'm used to like
I get it, but I also understand the idea where some people are transitioning. You know, it's like, I think deep down, we want to be that person that can provide for you and do those nice things. But if we aren't there yet, we also want somebody who's not going to make us feel bad about that and support us and be that strong backbone for us. But we can't be stagnant for like forever. At some point, we got to step it up, because it's going to put a lot of stress on the woman who's like trying to, you know, be that supportive girlfriend. So you got to...
It's like, how long? Like how long would you accept someone to being at that point? Like, I guess being in a relationship, like, you know, you see that they're driven, you see that they're ambitious, you see them making moves, you know, but at the same time, it's just like, okay, how... I've dealt with the 10 plus years relationship being in this scenario, but also going half on everything. On everything. I was buying plane tickets. And I was okay with that, because that was my best friend. That was my companion. And I've experienced that, and I love that.
And you saw potential in
the two of you guys. And I saw potential, and I saw his drive, and I saw his ambition. I was like, you're going to get it. And I was the backbone. I supported like 10 plus years in this relationship, and it didn't go anywhere. I didn't even have a ring on my finger at the end of the day. And I'm just like, do I want to put myself in this situation again? If you can't like deliver or meet me halfway in some type of way with what I want, or even be that man and be like, I want to step it up and give you what you want, so I'm going to make this work. Like, I that's the type of man that I like, is that one that's going to put his foot down and be like, I'm going to make this work because I really love you, and I'm really going to go hard to make this work and make this happen. So whatever you want, but then vice versa, whatever they want, let me know. If you want me to take care of you, nurture you, that's what I do.
You mentioned before the other day that that's your nature.
That's my nature. I love taking care of people. I love it. And it's just like, I think I like tend to help broken people, like, you know, like it's just like in every way, either emotionally or, you know, I tend to attract that.
So people that are generally like that, because I'm like that as well. I think the thing about people like us is that we will go to the end of the world to make you feel special and do things for you if we feel as if it's appreciated. If we feel like it's somewhat, you know, respect, like if you actually give knowledge to the fact that we're doing this for you. I don't think anybody likes to feel like they're being taken advantage of.
No.
And I think when you get to that point, we tend to shut down.
I tend to get scared. I'm like, okay, this, because it's familiar. It reminds me of like a situation I've been in. I have been taken advantage of. I have been used. I've had that happen. So because I've had that happen, it kind of sucks. Moving forward and, you know, trying to not, giving that person the benefit of the doubt that this is not going to happen again.
A familiar story to me is when I was with my ex. She basically, this was like 10 years ago, I was in my early 20s, and basically I was at a very low place in my life. Like I was living in my car for the most part. We got together and she took me in because she cared about me. And I hated the fact that I was putting that type of pressure on her so early in the relationship. I knew it was gonna strain our relationship like crazy. But I also didn't want to stay in the car. So I said, all right, you know what, we're gonna make this work. This nice little apartment is better than what I had. So I'm staying with her, and after a while, she started to feel the burden of my presence there. She used to come home every day, see me, and be like, oh, he's here. She didn't even get excited at the fact that I was here. I'm like, man, you used to be so happy to see me. But now all of a sudden I'm here because I need to be here, and now suddenly that rubs you the wrong way. So eventually things got so heated that she made me move out. And I'm okay with the idea that she gave me a little extra push. And coincidentally, my finances happened to align right at that moment where our breaking point was, and I got my own place. Once I got my own place, she wouldn't even let me stay at my own place. She was like, well, why you keep staying over there? Why don't you come back over here? I'm like, you got some girl over there or something? I'm like, no, ain't no girl. This is where I live now.
She's
like,
your space, I have my space.
Well, come back. Why would you want to stay at home when you can be here with me? I said, that's what I've been trying to say from the beginning. She's like, I'm like, why would you make me move out just to make me come stay here every night? And she said, because I wanted you to want to be here and not simply because you needed to be here.
Right.
And I'm like, so I got to pay rent just to deal with your little psychological problem. So like I said, I got the message.
Wow, that was a game.
Yeah, it was. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I got the message in what she was trying. She didn't want to feel like she was being taken advantage of. She did.
But that was a message that she gave you.
She wanted to be and she was a very giving person, but she didn't like the fact that she had to be that person. Yeah. She wanted me to put it in a position to where it's like, listen, I don't really need you, but you know, it's nice that you're here, and if you want to do these nice gestures, by all means, I'll do the same thing for you. But we're doing it at a place where we're both like very comfortable on our own end, and it doesn't feel the pressure of having to do it. All right, y'all, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Fury Talks, and thank you, Jazzy, for being a part of this.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It was nice having a woman's touch on the panel.
It was nice to get a guy's perspective, too, because, you know, I don't have a lot of guy friends, so thank you.
That's what we're here for. So we're here to...
You gave me some advice here.
I'm here to help her. I'm here to help all you women that are watching and everybody else. So hopefully you guys took advice from this. So where can they find you?
So you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, now even TikTok. Oh, yes. So Jazzy. Make sure you follow, subscribe, you know the deal.
Truly appreciate you guys. Again, thank you for watching Fury Talks. We'll see y'all next time. Later.